Welcome into Cannon McMillan High School. We have the POWERade Finals preview show. Jeff Upson, Greg Warnock with you here. And Jeff, it's been an exciting tournament so far, and we are down to the final two in each weight class.
It's been an amazing couple days here, and the quarterfinals were amazing. The semifinals were amazing. I can't wait to see what is in store for the finals. We got a lot of good wrestling here coming up.
A lot of top nationally ranked guys here wrestling in these finals. Let's go ahead and kick things off, Jeff. 107 pounds. Chestnut Ridge's Dom Deputy. He gets into the final with a 5-2 win in the semis over Killian Coluccio. Meanwhile, on the other side, Cameron Saunce will be his opponent from Del Barton. He won 2-1 over Seamus Regan of Wyoming Seminary.
You know, and Regan was a guy who I thought probably could have been a number one here, right? He's had a good season thus far, and Saunce came out and said, you know what, I'm the guy here, right? So
yeah.
For Dom Deputy, you know, he didn't look – he looked tired yesterday, right? He looked a little tired yesterday, sluggish, and I'm sure that has to do with the fact that, you know, he has a pretty good weight cut, right? Today he looked a lot better. Today he looked fast. He scored pretty quick off the whistle in the first period there in the semis. So, you know, Dom's – this is his first time in the, you know, coming out and really wrestling hard at this weight. So I'm excited to see what he does in the finals here. And again, 107, we didn't really know what to expect. We knew Dom was going to be a strong favorite in a lot of ways, but outside of that, we didn't really know what to expect. So Dom Deputy really showed up.
Yeah, Regan was the guy that we thought, hey, he's probably the favorite coming in.
Just because he wrestled in Ironman and he's, you know, being on that team, that Wyoming Seminary team, those guys just – they're really good. They get better every week, every day. And
that 5-2 score for Deputy in the semifinals, although it seems close, he controlled that entire match. I mean, there was never a time where I'm like, okay, he's in danger at any point. He controlled it from beginning to end.
Agreed.
114 pounds, one of the biggest upsets, the one everybody's talking about, Landon Sidden of Norwin. Sidden, by the way. We got to confirm with Kyle Martin, head coach of Norwin. But Sidden, a 3-1 overtime win over Davis Motika of Wyoming Seminary. Let's start there, Jeff. I mean, what a match for that one.
It was a very smart – Sidden looked like a veteran. He looked like he's been in that position before. He looked poised. And for him to finish on Motika, who is so long, and he's like a tarantula. He just can get in on you and tie you up. And you know, I heard his dad or one of the coaches on Norwin's side said, hide your ankles, hide your ankles. And that was the thing. He had a clean double leg and was just able to finish, right? He was not going to win if he was going to be on a single and cut out to the side. He had to go straight on, and he did. He had a clean finish, and he looked like a senior, right? Because Motika's a senior going to Penn, and Sidden just came out and, you know, that was a heck of a match.
Great double leg takedown for sure. And the patience, too, throughout the entire match is what I took away from it, you know, because he continued to just wait for his spot. And you could tell all of his freestyle experience as well because the push-outs that he was having. He only got one stall call, but he could have had a few others.
He could have had a couple others, I agree. And, you know, that went into overtime, and I felt like he had the momentum, right? He had touched his legs. He had been on his legs. He was controlling center, working the edge a little bit. And you know, Motika's slick, right? And he's so long that – and Sidden's kind of short for the weight a little bit. And you just wonder, you know, what that means for the finals because – in the finals, he's going to have Aiden Smith, who looked amazing against Paul Kenny, a world champion, one of the best in the nation, obviously one of the best in the world. And Aiden Smith beat him, man. Aiden Smith just is a gamer. I cannot wait for this match. These guys wrestled at the trials it was in the spring now, but Sidden beat Smith in freestyle, right? Different style a couple months ago, but I feel like he's got the hot hand in a way. Smith's been here before.
And he got that takedown in overtime.
He did.
I mean, talk about a confidence booster. Both the guys, really. Both guys getting that overtime takedown, 3-1, very similar scores. It's going to be a great match, for sure.
That may be the last match of the night.
It should be.
It might be.
And you think about, too, a lot of people that will come in just as fans are going to be local people.
Sure.
Norwin, hard to believe, but the only person in WPIL.
I don't think it is hard to believe because we said.
I'm talking about from past history.
For sure. Yeah.
Sidden's the only guy from the WPIL in the finals. Makes sense to put it as the last match of the night, so we'll see how that one goes. But I'm super excited.
Both those guys were, I mean, almost very similar, identical matches in a lot of ways, right? So it's. I can't wait to see these clash.
121, Nate Desmond of Wyoming Seminary. 3 falls to get to the semis in a workman-like 5-0 win over Louis Gill of Reynolds. Reversal, 3 near falls, gets it done in the semis. On the other side, Carson Brown of St. Edwards goes to double overtime, wins 7-3 over Ethan Rivera.
Ethan Rivera looked good in the first period. I thought, this is going to be his match, right? He came out, scored, and then I was watching the other matches, and I looked over and I said, this is a tied match. They're an ultimate tiebreaker. They're what's going on here, right? Carson Brown, those St. Ed's guys are just –
they were tough.
They're different. They're on a different – there's something in the water there, because those guys are all just hard-nosed, badass kids.
The semis I saw of them for sure.
Yeah,
they were all in it.
And for Nate Desmond against Louis Gill, those guys have wrestled – 100 times, and from their careers, from youth all the way up, these guys have wrestled so many times. And Desmond's he's always had his number a little bit, right? I'm not surprised to see that 5-0 win and kind of a workman-like performance, as you said. But boy, Desmond and Brown, that's gonna be a really good match. The way that Brown wrestled in the semifinals, if he can slow down Desmond, who just recently committed to Penn State, I think he's got some weight off his shoulders a little bit. I think, and of course, Desmond hasn't been here before, so I think this is a chance for him to say, I'm now with Wyoming Seminary, but I'm still pretty good, right?
Well, a lot of the guys, and I'll probably mention this several times throughout, but these top guys are very hard to get out of position.
Yes.
And I think Desmond is one of those guys. You talk about slowing him down, but you also got to get him out of position to put points on the board.
Right.
So can Brown do that is the question. He was able to finally do that with Rivera to win the match in double overtime.
Right.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be a more challenging road to get Desmond
for
out
sure.
of position.
It is. Right.
127 pounds. How about the performance of Jax Forrest? 3 technical falls and a fall to get to this final, including a tech fall over Andrew Binney, a state runner-up here in PA. And it made him look, I don't even know how to describe it. It just made him look so bad.
So here's the Milky Way galaxy, and this is another galaxy, and that's where Jax Forrest is, right? I hate to say it, but he's just, he's in a different tier.
Yeah,
he's beating college kids. I personally think that Jax Forrest, if he wrestled in college right now, he could place top 8. He could be an All-American in college today. That's how good he is,
That's
right?
Saying something, right?
So Andrew Binney, he had a big win last night, and of course he's awarded with Jax. Jax is just, boy, he's fun. He's fun to watch, man, and he really put it on Andrew, and I don't think many people were too shocked by that.
No, I think just the way he did it so quickly, I think is probably the way.
It was. We were watching. We're like, okay, 10-4, 15-5. Oh, gee,
yeah,
it just, and on the flip side of that, Aaron Cement gets into the finals, a guy who Binney had beaten in the state tournament last year. I think he really wanted that match. I know a lot of people thought Cement, he didn't look great in the quarterfinals. I don't know if he has to be sucking a little bit of weight, right? But he had a 1-0 win, just didn't really ever get anything going. In the semifinals, he looked lights out. He looked really good. I'm not saying he's in the same universe as Jax Forrest. These guys have wrestled before. Jax has beat him pretty good, handedly. I expect sort of the same, but, Cement's now 6 hours, 7 hours off the scale. He's probably feeling pretty good come 4 o'clock. So
right.
I don't know. It's but Jax is on another. Again, different.
He'll give him his best shot for sure.
Of course he will. Just like Cement did against Bo Bassett at the True Power card.
Right.
He went out and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, as long as you're not Luke Lilladale, I think Jax Forrest is going to be having a commanding win here at POWERade. 133 pounds, Nick O'Neill from Malvern Prep, a tight 1-0 win over another story that we talked about in the preview show, Camden Baum, Bishop McDevitt. He is in the finals. He's going to be taking on probably one of the most exciting matches in the semis.
Oh.
Matt Patello of Wyoming Seminary, double overtime, 5-1 win over Mason Gibson of Bishop McCord. Boy, was there a lot of action in that one.
The crowd was into it, man. The fans were just they were loving that match. There was oohs, there was ahs. It was fun, And anytime Mason Gibson's in a tight match, he's going to do something that gets you going, right? He does a little cartwheel. He tries to jump over, and Mason is a lot. I love Mason, right? I really like him as a person, and I wanted to see that match for him, but. If he can bounce back and have a good ending to his POWERade. Patello, man, he looked strong. He looked significantly bigger than Mason in that match. He just looked strong.
I would say they were similar body types even, because Mason's gotten a lot
compact.
He has, yeah.
Right.
So you look at Botello, he's able to match him strength for strength. Something where Mason maybe earlier in his career a little bit more quick and elusive. Now he's relying a lot on his strength because of the injuries that he's sustained.
Right.
And they matched up really well with the upper body. And that's why I think it was so entertaining.
Because they were going upper body. You didn't know who was going where. And, I thought Mason, him putting himself in the position, I thought if he was going to win, ride out was not going to be the way to win. I thought that was going to be tough for him to win in ride out. I thought if he was going to win, he had to get the takedown in sudden victory. And he was close.
He was
super close, man. And if there was a bigger mat with a little bit, and I've seen that a lot here with some of these high-level guys, is if they had a little bit more real estate, I think that it could have been a lot different for some of these matches. There was a lot of guys who were just on the edge. They were this close to finishing, just ran out of real estate, right? So
that was if it was college rules with 1 foot in.
Correct. And on the flip side, Nick O'Neill, Camden Baum has been one of the most, and I think we said that on the preview show. I think I said Baum is going to come out here and impress. He looked really good.
He shut him down.
Nick O'Neill is just a leech, right? He's very good at what he does, right? He does a lot of things right, but boy, he can just slow anyone down and keep it close. And if not, he's going to pin you, right? Baum gave him everything he got, and I think, the question is, do you put him down or do you put him neutral? And they elected to, and I talked to Coach Pippa, John Pippa, a little bit about that, and he said, we want to see him what he's going to do there. He's got time. So Nick O'Neill, Botello, Malvern Prep, Wyman Seminary, these guys, they hate each other.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of love lost there.
No doubt about it. And talk about two different styles between O'Neill and Botello. If O'Neill can slow him down, that's going to be – he slows down everybody, right?
Yeah.
So you got to hope Botello can potentially get to a throw at some point.
Potentially, yeah.
One guy who hasn't slowed down, Bo Bassett, Bishop McCord, a tech fall in the semifinals to get to the final. He'll be taking on Luke Simcox, a 1-0 win for Simcox over Maddox Shaw. Very similar to that state title matchup.
Exactly. Almost identical in a lot of ways.
And you had to wonder, Shaw goes down again. I bet you if they wrestle a third time, Maddox Shaw is not going bottom. He's going neutral, and he's going to take his chances.
Maybe, yeah. And that was another one towards the end of that match, dude. He was in on his leg. I think it was 8 seconds left, and he just went right in, and he had a hold of his leg, and I'm thinking, if he cut, this is it.
We need about 10 more seconds.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
But Simcox is, again, kind of like Nick O'Neill, man. He's so good at what he does, and he controls matches, right? He controls them.
But does he slow down Bassett is the question.
Yeah, that's what's everyone. That's everyone in this whole arena. That's everyone outside here. You all at home are probably thinking, can Bo Bassett be stopped? Can he be slowed down? Right. I'll tell you, against Ninninger, he didn't look like he was going to be stopped.
No,
right? And that is a solid wrestler, right? Bo is just –
and he was getting from takedown to back points.
Yeah, and he looked vicious a little bit, right?
Yeah.
He looked a little mean. And, Simcox is huge. He's big. He's a big 39-pounder. And he's strong. He's been there. He's done that, right? Won a state title. So, but for Bo, this is what he wants. He dreamed of these types of matches. He loves being in these big spotlight matches. And it's going to be a spotlight match. Everyone's going to be watching that match for obvious reasons. But, 39 is going to be worth the price of admission for sure.
No doubt about it. 145 pounds, Pearson Manville State College, a 6-0 win over Anderson Heap to get to the final. He'll take on Jack Consiglio. We talked about one versus two.
Third time, Surge, Ironman, POWERade.
Yep, and we'll see him one more time. Consiglio got his win late. It was he was actually down 1-0.
He was.
Got 2 and 3 to win 5-1.
I talked to his dad a little bit, and before the even tournament started, and he pointed to Alex and said, "That's the one they're tight. They're really tight. They've kind of gone back and forth in their careers. Jack is on a different level. This is the Jack Consiglio that we've seen for a while, but now he's showing it on a national level. Now, for him, he's wrestled Pearson twice already in the last couple months, right? At the Surge finals, Pearson just went on a different level. He just went nuts, right? Ironman tightened it up a little bit. POWERade,
Pearson, I'm expecting a tight match.
I don't know. If it's anything like the Surge, it could get ugly. But if Jack wrestles like he has all weekend, I think it's going to be a little bit tighter, right? Yeah. Pearson is maybe pound for pound one of the best guys here, including Jax Forrest and Bo Bassett.
Yeah, you're talking about some elite wrestlers.
I'm just saying, Pearson is he's that good, right? Yeah. So, 45 is going to be a lot of fun.
Every weight's going to be fun, let's be honest. I mean,
there's a few I'm like, no, I don't know. There's some I like a little bit better than others.
152, Vince Bazakis of Wyoming Seminary, an 11-3 win to get to the final. He's going to take on Jackson Joy of Wadsworth, a 3-1 win over Melvin Miller of Bishop McCourt. And Joy looked solid in that match.
Joy looked really good. Melvin looked a little undersized. Melvin was trying to get to his attacks. He was getting some stall calls. He got a couple, and he was really pushing the pace. Joy just, he's tough. He's savvy, right? And you look on the other side with Bazakis. Bazakis workman-like, right? Just a really good 11-3. And I think I even said that on our preview show is like, he doesn't blow guys out, and here he is beating somebody 11-3 in the semifinals.
A fall attack and 2 majors to get to the final.
But no, I mean,
he heard you.
Vince is wrestling really well right now. There's a reason why he's #1 in the nation, right? But him and Jackson Joy are going to be that's again top 5 matchup there. Yeah. These guys are top 5 in the nation, both of them.
And Joy was able to keep Miller at bay for the first 2 periods. Those stall calls came in the third. Mm-hmm. Miller was getting a little more into it there in the third period, getting closer to his takedowns. And Joy was able to hold him off. Yep. So the question is, can Joy slow down Bazakis enough to get to that point?
Right. Yeah, and I think that you look at Vince and then you look at Melvin. I mean, Vince is he's bigger, a little bit stronger. I think his attacks are going to, I think they're going to work. But we'll see.
160, Alicio Parrington of Del Barton, a 7-0 win over Devin Magro, Bishop McCourt. To get to the final, he's going to take on Asher Cunningham of State College, a 6-0 win over Logan Fowler. Cunningham, he's one of those guys similar to Sidon. He's patient,
yes,
he's poised, never out of position. That entire semifinal, and I mean, you look at the rest of his results: a 5-0 win, a fall over Anthony Evanitsky.
Yeah,
he's never
second time he's pinned him this year.
He's not giving up points because he's not out of position.
He's so savvy.
Yeah,
I think I've used that word a couple times today, but he's patient. I like what you said about his patient, and his body awareness, and he's so strong from top, and he bullies people from the top position. His back, his traps. I mean, he's just so strong, and he really pounds people, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this. Parrington, he's been here before. He's been in the finals here before. Cunningham, though, I mean, he's been wrestling a long time. It's in his pedigree, right?
That's right.
I mean, we all know who his dad is, right? So. It's just that's one of the matches where I think Cunningham can really separate himself if he really opens up.
And it really puts himself on the map on a national scene with the win here in the finals, because he's looked incredible, in my opinion, throughout this tournament. 172, Ryan Burton of St. Joseph Regional, New Jersey, a 6-3 winner to get to the final over Louis Sergio of Del Barton. He'll take on Gage Wright of Parkersburg South, a 4-1 winner over Dominic Federici, Wyoming Seminary. I saw the Wright and Federici. Right, again, just similar to Cunningham, but just solid, patient, gets to what he needs to do, doesn't give up points. He's tough.
He's a very stereotypical Parkersburg South wrestler.
Yeah.
He's just, I feel like they're kind of a lot of the copycats of each other, right? They all kind of wrestle the same, and they all kind of look the same, size, stocky, right? This is the 1 versus 2 in the nation. Like, I mean, I know it doesn't have Pennsylvania flavor to it per se, but this is a 1 versus 2 in the nation, right? This is one that people are going to be very interested in. I know it doesn't have the flair like it does some of the other matches, but for a Pennsylvania fan, but I tell you what, these two are they're back and forth, and this is going to be a fun one.
It's going to be a 2-1, 3-2 probably tight match.
Yeah, exactly.
189 pounds, Jake Daly of Wyoming Seminary, a 7-1 win over another guy who's made a lot of noise,
yes,
Nate Campbell of Norwin, getting to the semis in an unseeded position. He'll take on Gerald Miller of St. Ed's, a 4-2 winner over Robert Kaharchik of Lake Highland Prep. Daly, I was really impressed with Nate Campbell. I thought he wrestled Daly very tough. Daly, he's gotten to another level.
Yes.
And I think that's where he's able to get that win over Nate Campbell.
I agree, and I was so when I saw that Daly was up to 190 or 189, I'm thinking, like, he's got to be so small for that weight. And he doesn't. He does not, because Campbell looks huge. I thought Campbell, when he wrestled with Tally Daniels, I was like, were you with the right weight class here? Like, he looks big. And he beat Vitaly Daniels 11-1. I mean, he really took it to him. So I'm thinking, if Daly's undersized, Campbell could have his, he could really take it to him a little bit. And Daly just his progression, and I'm not saying that he didn't get good at Becca, because obviously he did, but his progression over the last 6 months is unreal, especially going up that much weight.
Right.
Like he was a 52-pounder. He wrestled 60. Now you're up to 190. You're wrestling freaking men, right? I'm impressed with Daly. He just continues to do well. Jarrell Miller, though, he's a tough out.
He is.
He's a tough out.
He got that takedown with 1 second left to win it in the third period, and he just kept the pace going. I think that's the big with Miller, and he's gonna where Daly might have his challenges, because Miller's going to keep that pace and keep in his face the whole time.
Yes, he is. And these guys just saw each other a few weeks ago at Ironman, so this is why we love the POWERade.
2:15, Jude Correa of Wyoming Seminary, 9-2 over Wyatt Bush. He had a takedown. He got reversed, and he's like, wait a second, I gave up points? No. And then he just took it to Bush from there. Austin Johnson is his opponent on the other side from Muncie, a 5-1 winner to get to the final.
Can Johnson – I mean, these guys are top 5 in the nation.
Yep.
Johnson, one of the best we know from Pennsylvania. Does he have a shot here? What do you think?
I think he does, but I don't know if Johnson's wrestling his best yet.
I don't think he is,
because
this is his first time back.
Yeah, he's still coming from football. So to me, I don't know. To beat Jude Correa, you got to be at your best. Does he have a shot? Of course he does. I mean, he's a hell of a wrestler. But Jude Correa, I mean, he has just been he's at another level right now. He
is, right? And for Austin, I think you got to be in the best shape of your life,
yes,
and wrestling the best that you have been in order to knock him off, right?
Yeah.
Not saying he's not going to be in it, because I think he is. And the one thing we know about Austin Johnson is he's not afraid to take it to you and try something big either. Like he's done that a lot in his career. But Jude is just, again, savvy.
Yeah.
He's like a Jax Force. He's like a Bo. I mean, he knows what he's doing.
Right.
He's been doing it a long time. So yeah, that's. But everyone wanted to see Rune, right? Everyone see Rune here, Rune in Austin. So let's see what Austin can do with Jude.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And hopefully we'll see that Rune Austin match at some point.
Yeah.
285, Nick Pavlechko of State College. Workmanlike, right? Another fall. 4 falls to get to the final. This one over Ben Shue, and 3:15 to get there. He's going to have a tough opponent, though, in the finals. Rocco Delegata of St. Joseph Regional. He was a winner by major decision. He had 3 falls until the semis.
Yeah.
He wins 14-4, although the number 2 seed did get knocked out early.
Yeah.
1 versus 3. This was going to be a very good one.
Yeah, Shepard Turk kind of busted up that bracket from TJ. And Delgado was always the guy that we looked at like, all right, he's he's the other nationally ranked guy here, but he's up a bunch of weight. Do you think he looks small? Did you think he looked small for heavyweight, Delgado?
He did, yeah, he did.
Yeah, I thought a little bit.
And that's where he could have some trouble against Pavlechko, who's just a solid 285.
And Pavlechko is an athletic 285 too, right? Pavlechko's look good.
Yeah.
Just like Asher Cunningham, I think he's jumped levels in the last 6 months to a year. Obviously we know Sean Kinney's kind of the guy, right? But Pavlechko he's closing that gap, right? And he's showing that he's one of the best in the nation. So Delgado, on the other hand, it's a tall task for him.
Yeah, it
right?
is, yeah.
But he looked good in the semis. He did. That took him to
dominant.
Yeah.
Total dominant match. Finals get started here at 4 o'clock. Parade champs, I believe, around 3:40, right beforehand. So finals kicking off, though, at 4 o'clock. Should be a lot of fun, Jeff.
Can't wait, man.
All right, let's just call it right now.
What are we going through? Are we
tough.
going picks, or what are we doing? We
could, but I was just thinking, I was going to ask you OW. Who's going to win this to get OW?
Well, that depends here.
Do you want to do picks? We could do picks.
Yeah, sure. Let's go through picks.
All right, let's
go.
107. Who you got?
Deputy.
Yeah, I do too. 114?
Sidden.
Yeah, I like Sidden as well. Desmond Brown, 121.
Desmond.
I shouldn't keep agreeing with you, but I have to here. 127, Forrester or Cement?
Jax Forrest.
Yeah. 33, O'Neal Botello.
O'Neal.
Yeah, he's tough to score on. Bassett Simcox, 139.
Bassett. I think the question there, Bassett. if Simcox wins, he's OW.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
I think some of these, right? Like Simcox wins, if Cement knocks off Forrest.
Yeah, right.
There's some here. Manville Consiglio, 145.
Manville.
52, Bozakis Joy.
Bozakis.
Parrington Cunningham, 160.
Cunningham.
I like Cunningham, too. I want to disagree with you, but so far.
It's hard not to. Right?
172, Wright Burton.
Flip a coin, man. I'll go right.
I saw right. I didn't get to see I didn't watch as much of Burton's match, but I'll go the other side just so we have something different.
All right.
189, Daly Miller.
Miller.
All right, I'm going to go Daly on that one.
Okay, good.
215, Correa Johnson.
Correa,
yep. I agree. 285, Pavlichko.
Pavlichko.
Yeah, over Delegado.
What do the team scores look like right now? I don't know if
you probably have that before
yeah,
I would. Who's your OW then, if that's the case? If all those winners go exactly how you say it?
Bassett.
Bassett? Not sitting?
I mean, they would both be beating state champs. There's a world champ in that bracket. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see Sidden.
I mean, Sidden, you got like 3 top 10 guys there.
Sure. So does 39 with Maddox Shaw, and I mean, I know Jaden James isn't there, and I think it depends. If Bo goes off, right? If he really beats him, I think
you got to give it to him.
I don't know personally, but Sidden is yes, 100% in that conversation. I think he could 100% win it, and should he? Yeah, I mean, it's one of the deepest weight classes here. We talked about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see that happening. It looks like Sem 200, St. Ed's 170, Malvern Prep 162, St. Joe's 149, Bishop McCourt 133. So Wyman Samuel sitting at 200. So.
Not too surprising to see some of those top schools.
No, but St. Ed's is doing well.
Very well. Another team that's doing very well PA-wise, Bishop McDevitt. Thought they've had a very good
I
tournament.
really do. I mean, I've thought Bishop McDevitt has looked good all weekend, and some other guys have. I mean, Grayson Music was one of them. Camden Baum, even the Lawlers look good, and yeah, they're gonna be fun to watch coming around.
Yep. 4 o'clock is when it kicks off. We'll have updates for you throughout the finals, and then obviously we'll recap it for you here at some point in the next week to talk more about these finals. But for Jeff Upson, I'm Greg Warnock. Thanks for watching the POWERade Preview Final Show.